Good morning, and welcome to the Sunday Unity of Reading message. This is August 31st. I'm Reverend Nancy Clark. Our daily word for today is light. The light of God surrounds me. When darkness casts shadows in my life or in the life of someone I care about, I call upon the divine light that lives within me and expresses as me. Just as the light of the sun illuminates the sky, the light of God illuminates my mind, brightens my soul, and warms my heart. Even during life's darkest moments, the light of God is always shining within me, just as it shines within all people. Basking in this light, I find the strength and the power to lift myself up. Through the acts of service and loving kindness, I can be the light that helps guide others through any darkness that they may be facing. Every smile, kind word, thoughtful deed, or offer of help has the potential to brighten someone's day. And from Psalm 112, verse 4, they rise in the darkness as a light from the upright. They are gracious, merciful, and righteous. So last week I started talking about the 4 agreements written by Don Miguel Ruiz. I hope after that message last week you've made a commitment to look at yourself and to be aware of the agreements that you have made with yourself about the world, about others, but particularly about yourself. The concept that we have about ourself, our own self-image, is very powerful. I hope after last week you really gave some thought to who you are and the potential that you have deep within you. You are much more than what you think you are. You are a spiritual being living a human existence and are the son or daughter of God, brother to Jesus, and therefore heir to God's kingdom and all the power and the wisdom that comes with it. So I truly hope, since last week, you looked at those agreements regarding who you are and what you've and made a commitment to change some of those agreements that you've made with yourself about yourself. So continuing this week, speaking about the 4 agreements, Ruiz recommends making 4 new agreements, which will nullify many of the other agreements that we have made with ourselves. The first agreement he suggests making is be impeccable with your word. At first glance, this may seem easy, but when you really think about it, we know that it's going to take some serious conscious effort to be impeccable with our word. So you might ask yourself why this agreement is so important, being impeccable with your word. Why your word? As Ruiz writes, your word is the most powerful thing that you have to create. Your word is a gift that comes directly from God. The Gospel of John in the Bible, speaking of the creation of the universe, says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God." Through the Word, you express your creative power. It is through the Word that you manifest everything. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent manifests through your word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will all be manifested through your word. The word is not just a sound or a written symbol. The word is a force. It is a power you have to express and communicate, to think, and to thereby create the events in your life. You can speak. What other animal on the planet can speak? The word is the most powerful tool that you have as a human. It is a tool of magic. But like a sword with 2 edges, your word can create the most beautiful dreams, or your word can destroy everything around you. One edge is the misuse of the word, which creates a living hell. The other edge is the impeccability of the word, which will only create beauty, love, and heaven on earth, dependent on how it is used. The word can set you free, or it can enslave you even more than you think. All the magic you possess is based on your word. Your word is pure magic, and the misuse of your word is black magic. Interestingly enough, as Ruiz talks about the word being magic, the word abracadabra, which is used by many magicians, actually is an Aramaic word which means I create as I speak. The word impeccable means faultless, flawless, irreproachable, incapable of sin. Unity defines sin as error in thought. Ruiz explained sins as anything which goes against yourself. Everything you feel or believe or say that goes against yourself is a sin. You go against yourself when you judge or blame yourself for anything. When you are impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself. So being impeccable with your word is not using your word against yourself. Being impeccable with your word is the correct use of your energy. It means to use your energy in the direction of truth and love towards yourself. If you make an agreement with yourself to be impeccable with your word, just with that intention, the truth will manifest through you and clean all of the emotional poison that exists within you. By making this agreement is difficult. We have learned to do precisely the opposite. We have learned to live a lie as a habit of our communication with others, and more importantly, with ourselves. Most times we are not impeccable with our word. The Bible is filled with powerful verses regarding the power of our word in both the Old and the New Testament. Just to mention a few, in Job, you will declare a thing, and it will be established for you. Very, very powerful verse. I'll read that again. You will also declare a thing, and it will be established for you. In Proverbs says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Ephesians, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. And from Matthew, but the things that come out of a person's mouth come from the heart, and these defile them. For by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. Very, very powerful verses that back up the power of the word. Once again, science is also backing up some of these ideas with researched evidence. Confirmation bias shows that we only tend to look for things that back up our own beliefs. Self-fulfilling prophecies that what we believe or who we think we are, we actually become. Pygmalion effect, which says what we think of others, we tend to see them as, and they become that to us. I would like for you to take some time and really, really think about the words that have come out of your mouth recently. What have you said to yourself about yourself or to others about yourself? Have your words been uplifting and loving or filled with shame and guilt? What have you said about others? What statements have you said to your children about them? If we think about every statement that we say followed by, thy will be done, we will be more careful about our words. For remember, you will declare a thing, and it will be established to you. By your belief, it is done. As Ruiz writes, to have faith is to believe 100% without a doubt. We all are born with all the faith that we need, and we create based on our faith. Our faith is our personal power, but we have invested all our faith in our beliefs and our agreements. We have more than enough faith to create the lives that we want. We just have placed our faith in the wrong things. All of our power of creation is invested in our belief, and because we believe it's that way, that's the way it is. If we believe our knowledge, whether it's right or wrong, whatever we perceive will be filtered to make it fit into that knowledge. We create a personal dream that justifies that knowledge, and the outside dream proves to us that what we believe is true. The outside dream reflects our personal dream. It will justify every belief. Whatever you believe, you will put your faith in, and your belief and your faith will make it true. Thy will be done. Ruiz says you can measure the impeccability of your word by your level of self-love. How much do you love yourself? And how you feel about yourself is directly proportionate to the quality and integrity of your word. Which is a reminder from last week to make a new agreement about yourself, which is filled with love and inspiration. Once again, are your words to yourself filled with love and acceptance? Does your self-talk inspire you, or does your self-talk bring you down? It's time to make a commitment to make a change. Knowing that we are creators, as we speak, that we declare a thing and it becomes ours. Just imagine how this one agreement can change your whole entire life. Impeccability of the word can lead you to personal freedom, to huge success and abundance. It can take away all fear and transform it into joy and love. Just imagine what you can create with impeccability of the word. With the impeccability of the word, you can transcend the dream of fear and live a different life. You can live in heaven in the middle of thousands of people who are living in hell. You can attain the kingdom of heaven from this one agreement. Be impeccable with your word. The second new agreement that Ruiz encourages us all to do is to not take anything personally. Taking things personally shows personal importance. You don't have to accept what is given to you. When you take it personally, you agree with whatever others' opinions are of you, and it becomes yours. If you don't accept what is given, it goes back to the sender. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." And the truth is, no one can make you feel anything without your consent. When we take things personally, then we feel offended. Our reaction is to defend our beliefs and create conflicts. Not taking anything personally relieves you from the urge to attack and defend. Take on the idea that what you think of me is none of my business. You have to learn not to take either you're the best or you're the worst personally. Both are the same. Once you know what and who you are, you have no need to be accepted and no need for approval. Your anger, jealousy, envy, guilt, and all the negative feelings will be gone. Everything that anyone says to you is a reflection of themselves, not on you. It is our ego that gets offended, never our inner being, which always knows the truth of who we are. As you make this a habit, you do not have to trust in what anyone else says. You trust yourself, and you make responsible choices, and you cannot be hurt. Again, the Bible backs up this advice to not take anything personally. Proverbs states, "Good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense." In Ecclesiastic, do not take to heart all the things that people say. Least you hear your servant cursing you. Your heart knows that many times you yourself have cursed others. As Ruiz says, as you make a habit of not taking things personally, you won't need to place your trust in what anyone else says. You will neither need to trust yourself. You will only need to trust yourself to make responsible choices. You are never responsible for the actions of others. You are only responsible for you. When you truly understand this and refuse to take things personally, you can hardly be hurt by the careless comments or actions of others. If you keep this agreement, you can travel around the world with your heart completely open, and no one can hurt you. You can say, "I love you," without fear of being ridiculed or rejected. You can ask for what you need. You can say yes, or you can say no, whatever you choose without guilt or self-judgment. You can choose to follow your heart always. Then you can be in the middle of hell and still experience inner peace and happiness. You can stay in this state of bliss, and hell will never affect you. The third agreement that Ruiz suggests is making is not to make assumptions. Do not make assumptions. We have a tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem is making assumptions is we believe that the assumptions that we make are true. We could swear they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. We take it personally, then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our word. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're just asking for problems. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. The way we make assumptions, if you remember from my message a few weeks ago, is to mind read, to fortune tell, to catastrophize. And then the self-fulfilling prophecy creates this situation for us. We have to remember that no matter what happens, we only have one little piece of a jigsaw puzzle, one little piece of information, and we certainly can't make any accurate picture or assumption from that. We have to remember that our mind doesn't like an incomplete picture, so it makes up the picture from our past agreements and beliefs. If we have to make assumptions to create that picture, why not make assumptions that are good assumptions, based in faith, assumptions of reality the way we would like to see it, instead of the assumptions that scare us? Remember, as we declare a thing, it becomes that for us. Part of the problem is we believe that others think the same way we do, and then we try to figure out their intentions, their motives, and their beliefs. We must remember that no one thinks the same way. Each is living their own dream. Each has their own beliefs and agreements. We need to ask questions to clarify. We need to be able to ask for what we need. To prevent making assumptions, we need to make sure that our communication is clear. With clear communication, all of our relationships will change. not only with our significant others or partners, but with everyone. Remember, Proverbs tells us, a fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. There's just one more agreement, but it is the one that allows all the other three to become deeply ingrained habits. The fourth agreement is about the action of the first three. Always do your best under any circumstance. Always do your best, no more and no less. But keep in mind that your best is never going to be the same from one moment to another. Everything is alive and changing all the time, so your best will sometimes be high quality. At other times, your best won't be as good. When you wake up refreshed and energized in the morning, your best will be better than when you are tired at night. Your best will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick, or sober as opposed to drunk. Your best will depend on whether you're feeling wonderful and happy, or upset, angry, or jealous. Just do your best in any circumstance in your life. It doesn't matter if you're sick or tired, or healthy or energetic. If you always do your best, there's no way you can judge yourself. And if you don't judge yourself, there's no way you're going to suffer from guilt, blame, or self-punishment. By always doing your best, you will break a big spell that you have been under. Doing your best, you're always going to live your life intensely. You're going to be productive. You're going to be good to yourself because you're giving yourself to your family, your community, to everything. But it is the action that is going to make you feel intensely happy when you always do your best. You take action doing your best is taking the action because you love it, not because you're expecting a reward. When you do your best, you don't give the judge the opportunity to find you guilty or to blame you. If you have done your best, the judge tries to judge you accordingly to your book of laws, but you've got the answer. I did my best. There are no regrets. That is why we always try to do our best. It is not an easy agreement to keep, but this agreement is really going to set you free when you do your best. You learn to accept yourself, but you have to be aware and learn from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes means that you practice. You look honestly at the result, and you keep practicing. This increases your awareness. Always remember, God is life. God is life in action. The best way to say, I love you, God, is to live your life doing your best. The best way to say thank you, God, is by letting go of the past and living in the present moment, right here and right now. Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to live fully, alive in the moment. Letting go of the past means you can enjoy the dream that is happening right now. You were born with the right to be happy. You were born with the right to love, to enjoy, and to share your love. You are alive, so take your life and enjoy it. Now, the first three agreements will only work for you if you do your best. Don't expect that you will always be able to be impeccable with your word because your routine habits are so strong and firmly rooted in your mind. But you can always do your best. Don't expect that you will never take anything personally, but you can do your best. Don't expect that you will never make another assumption, but you can certainly do your best. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent. With time, you don't need to judge yourself, feel guilty, or punish yourself. If you could not keep these agreements, if you're not doing your best, you will feel good. If you could keep these agreements, do your best, you will feel good about yourself, even if you still make an assumption, still take things personally, still are not impeccable with your word, because you know you're doing the best you can. As is stated in Ephesians, know that whatever good thing each one does, this he will receive back from the Lord, whether slave or free. And Ecclesiastic, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. And Romans, never be lazy in your work, but serve the Lord enthusiastically. We should always strive to do our best. And in the end, we can say as Paul, I have fought the good fight. I have completed the race. I have kept the faith. Making a commitment and action makes the difference most of all. As you do this process, love yourself. Make the time and commitment with yourself to know who you are, to love yourself, to accept yourself. You are an amazing spiritual being. living a human existence. You have a divine spark within you filled with potential and possibility. Know who you are, know the truth, and the truth shall surely set you free. And so it is. I'd like to take these thoughts into meditation. So as you get comfortable in your seat, just feel the environment around you. Feel the energy in the room. Feel each breath coming in, and as you exhale, feel your body and your mind relax even deeper. Shut the door of your closet. Allow your thoughts to just flow freely without paying attention to them, but just being the observer. Take this time to be with yourself, to get to know yourself, to spend time in the quiet and the silence with your inner being. For in the silence is where our knowledge, our truth, and our power lie. Take this time to again truly ask your inner being, who am I? And don't allow your mind to answer this, but allow the answer to well up from your inner being, that divine spark of you that is a piece of God, that piece of you that knows who you are. You are more than your ego. You are more than your human body. You are a child of God with incredible potential, with incredible love and wisdom hidden deep inside. As you begin to love yourself and know who you are, you allow this potential and this inner love and peace to escape and come forward. As you know who you are, as you know you are love, peace, and joy, you will manifest these things in your life. Know that your outer life is a reflection of who you are in the inside. Make a commitment to begin living from your inner being, that part of you who knows you, who you are. Allow only your words to come from this inner source, this source of truth, this source of love. Make a commitment before you speak to take the time and ask your inner being to speak the words, so that you can be impeccable with your words, so that your words can only be those of truth, of love, so that your words can create a life that you want, a life of your dreams. The potential is there. You just need to speak the word. Take time and speak the word, I am love. I am lovable. I am power. I am powerful. God is love, therefore I am love. God is power, therefore I am power. God is all wisdom, therefore I am wise. Of myself, of my ego self, I can do nothing, but I know with God all things are possible. Make a commitment to go in the silence instead of making assumptions. Ask to see the truth of the situation. Ask what you need to say or do, and allow the answers to well up from that inner being, not from your head, not from your ego. Know that nothing that anyone has said about you is personal. It's only a reflection of them. Again, if someone says something to you that feels hurtful, go into your inner being, into this silence, and ask yourself for the truth. For your inner being knows that you are wise, you are loving, you are wonderful. Feel this throughout your entire body, knowing who you are. Know that at any time you can come back into the silence, for in the silence is where all your answers are. The silence is where your power is. Make a commitment in the silence to always do your best. To do your best with being impeccable with your word. To do your best in speaking only those words that uplift and inspire yourself and others. Speak only the word of those things you want to create in your life. Speak only the word of those things you want to see reflected in your reality. Speak only the truth about yourself. Speak only the truth about others. Speak only the truth about your world. Make a commitment to realize that no matter what anyone says about you, it's a reflection of them. And you don't need to take it personally. For it's our ego self that takes things personally, not our inner being. Again, go to your inner being and ask for the truth and see yourself who you are. Know that there's no need ever, ever to judge yourself or place blame and guilt on yourself. See yourself through the eyes of God, who sees you perfectly, without judgment, without condemnation. Take responsibility for your actions without placing shame or guilt. Let go of those things you need to let go of. As you see beliefs come up or agreements that you have made in the past that no longer serve you, make a commitment to let those go. And ask your inner being for the truth and make a new agreement. Know that you are loved, you are loved, you are a spiritual being living this human existence. Live in the presence, for all your power is in the present moment. In the present moment, you experience the presence of God in the silence. As you take a deep breath in, know that with every breath you breathe in the presence of God, and you fill your entire body with love and God's light. Make a commitment to let that light shine through your heart to all those around you. As you have made these commitments to yourself, ask your inner being to help you keep these commitments, to be impeccable with your word, to not take things personally, to not make assumptions, and to always do your best. And most importantly, to know the truth of who you are. For you are a son of God, heir to the kingdom. And so it is. When you feel ready, you can move your body, open your eyes, come back into your space, and know that all truly is well. And so it is. Amen.